Here's your news for March 17th, 2020. We're starting today with quite possibly the biggest news SlatRock Wrestling has ever covered, as the WWE has confirmed that they are moving WrestleMania 36. Although the show will still air on April 5th and stream on the WWE Network, the show will instead take place at the WWE Performance Center in Orlando instead of the Raymond James Stadium in Tampa. WWE said in a statement, "In coordination with local partners and government officials, WrestleMania and all related events in Tampa Bay will not take place. However, WrestleMania will still stream live on Sunday, April 5th at 7 p.m. Eastern on the WWE Network and be available on pay-per-view. Only essential personnel will be on the closed set at WWE's training facility in Orlando, Florida to produce WrestleMania." This is the first time in history that WrestleMania will go ahead without a live crowd, and this decision has been made in response to the global medical crisis that is affecting everyone. On Twitter, superstars were quick to react, as Shayna Baszler, who will challenge for the Raw Women's title, said that her WrestleMania moment will be perfect no matter where it takes place. Mojo Rawley remained his positive self by saying he's still hyped for WrestleMania, while SmackDown Women's Champion Bayley, who's made it clear that she doesn't plan on defending her title at the show, said she'll be watching everything go down with her best friend Sasha Banks at the boss's house. Though people are being encouraged to not hold meetings of 50 or more people, it looks like WrestleMania will still happen on schedule, as the show must go on. The reason WWE hasn't scrapped Mania was apparently uncovered by Brian Alvarez on yesterday's episode of Wrestling Observer Live. Alvarez stated that he's been told by people close to WWE that Tampa had to cancel the grandest stage of them all to allow the company to claim on an insurance policy. Alvarez did note, however, that he did not know if this was 100% true, but this is what he's been told by people close to WWE. Alvarez said, "I've heard from more and more people very close to WWE who are telling me the reason this thing has not been canceled or postponed is an insurance reason. The city needs to cancel. They need to prevent WrestleMania from happening for WWE to collect on an insurance policy. That's the information I've been given from several people. Now, I don't know if this is true or not, but these people are close to WWE, and that's what they're saying. Let's see how wrestling's major event takes place without a major audience." On to Raw now, and well, this week's show put on an entertaining 3 hours for the fans watching around the world. As the show took place from the Performance Center, there was still plenty of excitement after the show finished. After the Red Show went off the air with Stone Cold Steve Austin and Becky Lynch celebrating 316 Day in the ring, the Raw Tag Team Champions, the Street Profits, decided to join in. This wasn't the smartest move by the champs, as both men received not one, but 2 stunners each by the Rattlesnake, while Lynch delivered a stunner of her own to Byron Saxton, who had already taken the move from Austin. Though the wrestling world is being challenged like never before due to the medical crisis, the WWE remains determined to putting on entertaining content, even without a live crowd present. WrestleMania 36 isn't the only huge WWE event to undergo changes, however, as the Showcase of the Immortals was just one event in what was supposed to be a huge weekend in Tampa. In a statement online, the company confirmed that both the Hall of Fame ceremony and NXT TakeOver Tampa will not take place as previously scheduled. There's currently no word on what will happen for SmackDown or Raw during WrestleMania weekend, but it's likely that they too will take place at the Performance Center. This year's Hall of Fame was supposed to see stars like Batista, the Bella Twins, and the British Bulldog get inducted, and while their time will come, it sadly won't be during WrestleMania weekend. We've got more news from WrestleMania weekend now, as despite there not being a crowd, the show will go on, and we'll see the in-ring singles return of Edge. Appearing on Raw this week, the Rated R superstar said that he was ready to retire for the second time until Randy Orton nailed his wife Beth Phoenix with an RKO. Seeking vengeance for the attacks on both himself and the Glamazon, Edge will now be facing Orton at WrestleMania in a last man standing match. It's been 9 years since Edge had a singles match, with his last win coming at WrestleMania 27. And it'll be interesting to see how the Ultimate Opportunist copes both in this situation and at a WrestleMania unlike any other. The appearance of Edge wasn't the only return on Raw, as this week's unique edition of the Red brand also saw the return of The Undertaker. Seeking payback on AJ Styles, the Phenomenal One signed the WrestleMania contract from backstage before having Gallows and Anderson deliver the paperwork to the Phenom in the ring. Not only did The Undertaker make quick work of the pair, but he also had a new look, complete with new pants, no shirt, and a beanie. The dead man's hair was also braided, as fans watching around the world got to see a new side of the dead man ahead of his collision with Styles on April 5th. It's clear that this week's edition of Raw was jam-packed, but the WWE has already started promoting next week's episode. On the March 23rd edition of the Red brand, Randy Orton will appear to respond to Edge's comments, and there will also be appearances by Men's Royal Rumble winner Drew McIntyre, as well as WWE Champion Brock Lesnar. McIntyre and the Beast are set to compete over the title at WrestleMania, but fans may not have to wait too long until they see these two come to blows in the ring. Though this year's WrestleMania will be a show unlike any other in WWE history, the company remains focused on providing a great card, with a new match being added to the show. During Raw, Kevin Owens cut a backstage promo where he answered Seth Rollins' challenge from last week and took the opportunity to confirm that the pair will battle at WrestleMania 36 inside the Performance Center. Given that the pair have competed multiple times on Raw in the past few months, the company may add a stipulation to the WrestleMania match, as the pair have consistently delivered against each other in the ring. We've got even more WrestleMania news for you now, as one name fans won't see competing is CM Punk, but that hasn't stopped the straight-edge superstar from making light of the situation. After WWE confirmed that the biggest show of the year will take place at an empty Performance Center, Punk commented that the empty seats will make sure that Roman Reigns doesn't get booed and that nobody chants for Punk instead. When one fan accused Punk of begging for a match at WrestleMania, Punk retorted, saying, "I'm not the one texting begging for a match with me at Mania," strongly implying that the WWE wants him to make a return to the ring. Time will tell whether Punk ever does compete in a WWE ring again, but one thing that seems certain is that it won't be happening at WrestleMania 36. From one person who isn't interested in returning to WWE's ring to another person who is, as Alberto Del Rio is apparently close to a comeback. After leaving the WWE in 2016 with a lot of bad blood, it seems that time heals all wounds, as Del Rio spoke to Nos Cayo La Noche in Mexico and was asked about a potential WWE return. He said, "We've been in communication. We have rebuilt the bridge. On their part, they were wrong on some decisions, and I also did some things wrong on my part. I'm hoping that we can reach an agreement sometime this year, or by the middle of this year I'll be back there." This return may be easier said than done, as Del Rio has put out several videos over the years bad-mouthing WWE, and in particular has mocked Triple H, which probably isn't the best idea when you're wanting your old job back. Though Del Rio is confident that he'll be back in WWE soon enough, it looks like he's the only one who believes that, as Fightful Select reached out to their WWE sources, and things don't look good for Mexico's greatest export. They said, one outright claimed as a response to that. Another doubled down on a statement they gave us last year saying, "If Paige does nothing for WWE, she's more valuable to have around than anything he could do," and saying the company wouldn't risk making her uncomfortable by having him around at this point, though their current relationship, friendship, or terms aren't known. It's common knowledge that Paige and Del Rio were in a very toxic relationship shortly before Del Rio's release in 2016. And with the anti-diva doing big things on WWE backstage and in a much better place mentally, it's unlikely WWE would risk all that by bringing back the controversial Del Rio. From a former WWE champion to our reigning WWE champion, as Brock Lesnar has always carried himself like a mercenary who only cares about the money WWE brings. But that may not be the real Brock after all. Despite various feuds revolving around full-time superstars standing up to the part-timer, Drew McIntyre has actually praised his WrestleMania opponent in an interview with Gorilla Position's James DeLoe, as he said, "Brock Lesnar's a very intelligent individual when it comes to business is the way to put it. Like, he gets it more than anybody I've ever spoken to and is really helping me think about things you just wouldn't think about, and not many people could teach you because nobody has quite reached the level he's reached. These comments are similar to the ones that Paige made in January, when she told Outside the Ropes' Kenny McIntosh that Lesnar is scary when you first meet him, but is also very sweet. Though these comments certainly paint Lesnar in a friendlier light than usual, we still wouldn't want to face him in the ring, as the WWE Champion doesn't show any of this alleged kindness on screen, especially on the road to WrestleMania. We are going back in time to November 1997, as fans will always remember the Montreal screwjob that happened at the end of Bret Hart's WWF tenure. After leaving the WWF, despite never tapping to his sharpshooter, Bret moved to WCW, a decision he has admitted he regrets. While speaking on Steve Austin's Broken Skull sessions, the Hitman said, "There was so much talent I could have worked with. Booker T, Hogan. I should have worked with Hogan right away. I should have had Hulk Hogan in a sharpshooter and done some big numbers with him. I went into WCW, I had more heat. I had wrestled you at WrestleMania 13, I beat Undertaker at SummerSlam, I knocked Vince out, I didn't really lose to Shawn. I had so much heat, and they just didn't know what the hell to do with me." It would have been interesting to see what Bret could have done if he'd stayed in the WWF, especially as the company would kick off the Attitude Era shortly thereafter, but sadly, we'll never know what could have happened, as Bret left for WCW before retiring from the ring in 2000. That retirement came partly because of Bill Goldberg, as it was a concussion from a kick delivered by the Universal Champion that ultimately ended his career. Since then, the Hitman hasn't had too many good things to say about the Hall of Famer, and Bret even called Goldberg the most unprofessional wrestler, saying, "I always knew what I was doing, and I would hurt myself before I would hurt another wrestler. I just wish some of the wrestlers I worked with, especially in the end like Goldberg. Goldberg to me was one of the most unprofessional wrestlers there was in the business." I mean, for Bill Goldberg to be in the Hall of Fame, he hurt everyone he ever worked with. You might as well wrestle a real gorilla. He was the most dangerous guy to work with. He hurt everyone he worked with. I remember Curt Hennig being in pain all the time from the matches they had. In the years since the concussion, Goldberg has expressed remorse over what happened, but it doesn't look like the Hitman is in the forgiving mood. Goldberg will compete against Roman Reigns at WrestleMania, and we wouldn't be surprised if the big dog got some advice from the excellence of execution before the match. We are taking a break from WWE now to look at AEW, as the company has also been affected by the ongoing global medical crisis. Now the company has confirmed that all episodes of Dynamite will be aired at closed-set locations with essential personnel only until further notice. This announcement means that the next 5 episodes of Dynamite have all been moved, as the shows were supposed to take place at Rochester, Newark, Milwaukee, St. Louis, and Boston. In more bad news for AEW, MGM Resorts have announced that they are closing all their Las Vegas properties, which includes the MGM Grand Casino Arena, which was supposed to host AEW Double or Nothing. With Double or Nothing scheduled for May 23rd, there's still time for things to improve, but the CDC has advised against public gatherings of more than 50 people for the next few months. As we've said before, this medical crisis is something that the wrestling world has never seen before, and with no idea of how long it'll last, fans may have to get used to the idea of closed-location shows. Back to WWE now, and though the company isn't hosting shows in front of crowds, the WWE Performance Center has become the host for their weekly TV until further notice. PW Insider has reported about the changes that the WWE made to the PC to transform it into the new home for SmackDown, saying, "WWE had a crew of dozens there at the WWE Performance Center to prep for SmackDown. Though this is a small crew, it makes sense that WWE is following CDC guidelines by not having too many people meet in one place. And for now, the company is wisely using their Performance Center to provide WWE content, just without fans in attendance." Speaking of the Performance Center, the WWE is still having a lot of staff meet each week to help produce the show, but that doesn't mean that the health and safety of their workers isn't a concern. Post Wrestling is reporting that the company is giving workers a choice about whether they want to remain at the center, saying, Multiple people at the WWE Performance Center on Friday spoke with us, stating the message conveyed was that anyone that was uncomfortable could leave without any repercussions. AEW has also given their talent a similar message, and it's great to see that despite everything going on, both companies are ready to let their employees think of themselves and their own health without risking their jobs. One man who fans probably won't see for a while due to the ongoing medical crisis is Lio Rush, who spoke to Forbes this week. When asked about whether he feels comfortable wrestling during the global concern, the former NXT Cruiserweight champion said, "I'm not. Just because how the situation has kind of flared up, and the little amount of time it has flared up, I just don't think it's smart. I don't know." Rush continued to say that with so many people traveling from different states, that it's certainly a worrying time, and unfortunately we just don't know when life will get back to normal. And finally today we're ending with results from Raw, as the company still put on a 3-hour show from the Performance Center. In the show's opening, Edge challenged Randy Orton to a last man standing match, which was followed by AJ Styles and The Undertaker making their WrestleMania match official. In the sole in-ring contest of the night, Rey Mysterio defeated US champion Andrade, much to the chagrin of Asuka on commentary, while Raw Women's champion Becky Lynch addressed Shayna Baszler. Up next, Kevin Owens challenged Seth Rollins to their Mania match, and the main event saw Stone Cold Steve Austin celebrate 316 Day with Becky Lynch after delivering a painful Stone Cold Stunner to Byron Saxton, bringing an end to arguably the most unique episode of Monday Night Raw of all time.